Good evening, dear women, Bezrat Hashem. We're coming back to Mondays. From now on, Mondays, Bezrat Hashem. We'd like to bless all of us, Bezrat Hashem, שיגיע משיח צדקנו במהרה בימינו אמן. שיגיע מבשר אליהו, נביא אליהו, תשבילה, וגלד מרם משיח בן דוד אליהו, נביא זכור לטוב. Bezrat Hashem. I would like to remind you that this is Shabbat Mevarchim, Rosh Chodesh Adar. Motzei Shabbat, dear women, it's already Rosh Chodesh. Okay, so when Shabbat goes out, you can light a candle for Rosh Chodesh, it's already Rosh Chodesh Adar. Dear women, it's 2 days of Rosh Chodesh, it's a Sunday and Monday, okay? 2 days of Rosh Chodesh. Okay. Sunday and... Okay. So it's Sunday and Monday, dear women. I would like to remind you that Shabbat Mevarchim Shel Rosh Chodesh Adar starts the 4 special Shabbatot. Okay, so this Shabbat we also read Parashat Shkalim. It comes from Parashat Kitisa in the continuation of the Parshiot of Chumash Shmot. And you have Dvar Torah. If you could go back to Torah anytime, go back in the years, you'll find Parashat Kitisa. You can go even to Parashat Mishpatim, which is this Shabbat is Parashat Mishpatim. These are the laws that you're going to put in front of them. Parashat Mishpatim, please go back and you'll find there also every sgulot for refuah shlema because it's in Parashat Mishpatim. So go over there, Bezrat Hashem, and you will find what you need. Dvar Torah, Bezrat Hashem. I would like to remind you, now this is we read Parashat Shkalim, B'Shabbat Mevarchim, a Shabbat that we bless Rosh Chodesh, okay, because Rosh Chodesh is Motzei Shabbat. So this is Shabbat before Rosh Chodesh. Please read the whole Tehillim. If you come as a group, it's excellent. If you cannot come as a group, divide it before Shabbat with your friends, and each one will read, and you finish the whole Tehillim. It's good to read 2 Tehillim, because 2 Tehillim is like kiper. תסתכלו. As chaf in numerical value is 20, pei is 80, reish is 200, together it's 300. We have 150 chapters in Tehillim, 2 Tehillim, dear women, is 300. It's like we are repenting over our sins. It's good to read 2 Tehillim, twice the Tehillim. So, if it's hard, what you do usually, you divide it. Before Shabbat, if you do not go to read with a group, before Shabbat, call your friends, divide it between you. You can read twice the same thing, and then no problem, you finish 2 Tehillim on Shabbat. And it's not so hard. And it's excellent if you sit with your family, your husband, your children, grandchildren, and give each of them Tehillim, mechulak, that is divided, and let them read and finish the Tehillim at home. It's a big sgula betoch habayit. So it's excellent to do that too, dear women. ראש חודש, בכלל זה טוב, אבל במיוחד לראש חודש. It's good anyway, but especially for Rosh Chodesh, Bezrat Hashem. Dear women, there are 4 Shabbatot. We are starting now. This Shabbat, we are reading Parashat Shkalim. Parashat Shkalim because we are reading about Machatzit Shekel, the donation that we need to give. The bell is ringing to remind us to give tzedakah. Why it used to be that 30 days before the holiday, they used to speak about the Jewish laws of the holiday. So we are before Pesach, dear women, and they used to gather money on Berishon BePesach, on the first day of Nisan, Berishon BeNisan, on the first day of the month of Nisan, in order to gather enough money for the sacrifice of Tmidim. Now those sacrifices used to be in the morning, ואחר כך at noon, at the afternoon, בצהריים. צהריים זה noon or afternoon? Afternoon, and whatever was left from the sacrifices they use at night to burn them. Now, Knesset Gdola gave us, instead of them, because we don't give sacrifice, it's Tfilat Shmona Esrei. We have Tfilat Shmona Esrei in the morning, we have it in the afternoon, and at night. This is Keneged Atmitim Shayu Samim et ze bebet HaMikdash. This is against, it's a parallel to the Tmidim, the sacrifice of Tmidim that they used to put in Bet HaMikdash. So they gathered money, they started to gather money to remind people from the beginning of Chodesh Adar, 30 days before they have to buy the Tmidim, the sacrifices, okay? So, now after Parashat Shkalim, dear women, we have Parashat Zechor. Parashat Zechor is the parasha we read. Shabbat Zechor is the Shabbat before Purim. I'm just reminding that you have 4 special Shabbatot. So Parashat Shkalim, which is this Shabbat, we are blessing the month of Adar, so we read Parashat Shkalim. If it was Rosh Chodesh, also on Shabbat, it would have been called Shabbat Shkalim, okay? So we know we're reading this Shabbat, also Parashat Shkalim, so 3 books of Torah going out, and they're reading also Parashat Shkalim. Another thing, dear women, Shabbat Zechor is the Shabbat before, because Zechor et Asher Asah Lecha Amalek, in Parashat Ki Tetzeh, you have to remember what Amalek did to you when we went out of Egypt. In Parashat Beshalach, you remember, and Moshe Rabbeinu raised his hands. So dear women, we have to remember that comes before Purim, because Purim is all about Amalek, Haman HaRasha, the wicked Haman. Then we have, dear women, Parashat HaChodesh. They have another parasha before that, but I'll give you Parashat HaChodesh. It's before, it is blessing the month of Nisan, dear women. So this is called Parashat HaChodesh. But Saturday before that, Shabbat before that, is called Parashat Parah. Parah Aduma, when we read about Parah Aduma, so now we are going into the 4 parshiot, 4 parshiot of Shabbat, special ones that we have in our religion, dear women. So now I would like to remind you what is the name of God for the month of Adar, Bezrat Hashem. It comes from Parashat Vayechi. Parashat Vayechi, dear women, and Yaakov Avinu is blessing Yehuda. Part of the blessing is Iro u'leshorka bnei atono. He speaks about, I'll give you the translation exactly. It says, to the vine branch, his donkeys fall. So I would like to tell you, מה? לא, יש לי, זה, נשים יקרות. בני אתונו. Dear women, so we take the last letters of each word, and this is the name of God, which we need to concentrate on Sunday and Monday morning. בשחרית, במוסף של שחרית. So I'll write it over here. I'll write it here. Okay, so this is the first name, Kuf, Kuf, which is Hey, Yud, and then the letter Vav. Okay? And the other one, dear women, it's Kuf, Kuf, Aleph, Yud. You'll see במוסף של ראש חודש, מוסף ראש חודש, again it's ברוך אתה השם, מקדש ישראל וראשי חודשים. Dear women, when we come over to, it's the תפילת 18, okay, the davening of 18, in מוסף של ראש חודש, at the middle you'll see ברוך אתה השם, מקדש ישראל וראשי חודשים. You stop over here, ברוך אתה השם, מקדש ישראל. You concentrate, you do not take the letters out of your mouth, you just concentrate, and it opens a tube of prosperity for all of the children of Israel. For you, for your children, grandchildren, your husbands, and all of the children of Israel. Okay? כי בי חשק ואפלתהו אסגבהו כי ידע שמי. It means God says, I will help him because he knew my name. He knew how to concentrate on the right name for that month. So these are the combinations of the name of God for the month of Adar. שיבוא אלינו לטובה בשעה טובה. You know that when Adar comes in, we have to be merrier, more happy. Now I would like to tell you something. Because of that, bli neder, I decided we're going to learn over here, Bezrat Hashem, at the end of every lesson, a song. We're going to learn it so together when we have meals and happy things, we can sing it together. And you will know the words in Hebrew. I will write it bli neder in English, but how to pronounce it in Hebrew. And we will sing together, Bezrat Hashem. So we are going to study. And there's a woman that writes songs. I will tell you in general her story. You remember Hurricane Sandy? Yeah. So one of my students that comes in Brooklyn, she was, her home is near, איפה זה סיגן? שכחתי איך קוראים למקום. סיגן? איך? קוני. It's Coney Island next to the beach. Dear women, she was with her children at home, and the water starting to go up. It went through the basement, it went over the first floor. They were sitting in the second floor, and her child, they started to cry. And the son was he was frightened, very frightened, and they read Tehillim, and the water stopped mamash on the second floor. So she started Ben Porat Yosef to write songs, and she sings this to us. It's beautiful. One of the songs we decided will be the songs of all of the lessons Bli Neder that I give. So we're going to learn the song and to sing it together, Bli Neder B'ezrat Hashem. And mi yodea, Mashiach yagia, we'll sing it together. It's beautiful, beautiful words of Hashem. It's very exciting. And we sing it in Brooklyn. So B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to do that also here. So from next lesson, it's Chodesh Adar, and we have to be more happy. We are going to learn to sing songs together, B'ezrat Hashem. You'll know it by heart. We'll be the soldiers of Hashem. As women, we're going to be B'ezrat Hashem, the soldiers of Hashem, all of us. B'ezrat Hashem.
Elsa wants dancing lesson.
B'ezrat, no problem, Elsa. We are going to see that you'll know how to dance with us. תרשמי, את יכולה לרשום, אני לא אמחוק עוד. Okay. Shh. I know it's exciting. Let's continue. Shh. Okay, dear women. I was asked, sometimes, you remember what we did last time? We had twice, yes, we started with birth. You remember that I told you that the fixing of the Adam HaRishon, the first human being, let's concentrate. The fixing of the first human being, dear women. Remember I told you the end of the fixing is birth, death, and resurrection. We started birth. Now we had 2 weeks that we did not touch this subject, but today we're going to touch something that includes everything that happens to us even today. And it will be until B'ezrat Hashem Mashiach comes here. B'ezrat Hashem Mashiach reveals himself. So we're going to speak about the exile of speech and the exile of knowledge that we have until today, from the exile of Egypt until today. This exile of speech and exile of knowledge is until today. And Elsa will tell me, how come we are speaking and you're telling me that the speech is in exile? Elsa, you should have asked me. So, dear women, listen very carefully. It says something very weird. We can see at the beginning of Chumash Shmot, God is speaking to Moshe Rabbeinu. He's speaking to him from the sneh, from the burning bush. And he's telling him, I want you to be my messenger. I want you to be Mashiach and to take the children of Israel out of Egypt. And look what Moshe Rabbeinu tells him. And Moshe Rabbeinu tells him, Vayomer Moshe el Hashem, Bi Adoni, Lo ish dvarim anochi. I'm not a person of speech, he says. Gam mitmol, גם מתמול, גם משלשום, גם מאז דברך אל עבדך, כי כבד פה וכבד לשון אנוכי. He says, we're going to speak about it with when we are going to continue to speak about the birth, dear women, we are going to continue and explain what does it mean, כבד פה וכבד לשון. He says, I have problems with my mouth and my tongue, he says. And he continues and says, ויאמר השם אליו, מי שם פה he says, who put a mouth to a human being, God tells him. Who causes a person who cannot speak to speak, he says. Or a deaf person to hear, he says. Who is opening the eyes of a person who cannot see, a blind person? He says, I am Hashem, I am the one who's doing this. So he tells him, V'ata lech, so you should go. V'anochi yeh picha, I will be... Bella?
I'm making quiet.
Okay. And I will be with your mouth. And I will tell you exactly what you will say. But Moshe Rabbeinu says to him, I cannot speak. I have a problem with my speech. I have a problem with the letters that come from the mouth and letters that come from the tongue. Because the letters are divided to 5 groups, dear women. So, let's continue. Let's look. We are continuing, dear women.
But they don't know about Hashem that he
you see, and God did not know that he had a problem. Sorry? What did you want to ask? So Shoshana says, did God not know that he has the problem? Yes, God knew, but he's telling him.
No, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know that this is God and he can do miracles.
Yes, of course he knew that he can do, but he still insisted because he was modest, and there was another problem which we're going to speak about it, about the exile of speech. Okay? So look, dear women, let's continue, and we can see, and we can go into Parashat Vayera in Chumash Shmot. I wrote it over here, you see? וידבר משה לפני השם לאמור, הן בני ישראל לא שמעו אליי, ואיך ישמעני פרעה ואני ערל שפתיים. Moshe Rabbeinu tells him in Parashat Vayera, this is after Parashat Shmo. He listens to Hashem, he goes with Aaron in front of Paro, he tells him, send my people out so they can go out of Egypt, let my people go. Paro says, I won't, and he makes life harder for the children of Israel. He does not give them straw in order to prepare the teeth, to make the bricks, and he tells them to gather everything. So Moshe Rabbeinu tells to Hashem, וידבר משה לפני השם לאמור, הן בני ישראל לא שמעו לי. The children of Israel, and I came to them and I spoke to them, they did not listen to me. ואיך ישמעני פרעה ואני ערל שפתיים, and how come Paro will listen to me? And again he says, and I have a problem with my speech, with my mouth, with the way I speak. This is very weird. Let's go back again. Look, when he spoke to him from the burning bush, he told him, don't worry, you should go, I will be with your mouth. Now he went to Paro, and he's speaking to Hashem, and he tells him again, אני ערל שפתיים, you see? כבד פה וכבד לשון, that's what he told him at the beginning, and God told him, אנוכי אהיה עם פיך, I will be with your mouth. And he went to Paro, and it seems that God wasn't with his mouth, because he still cannot, he has a problem with his speech. He says, ואני ערל שפתיים, I have a problem with my speech. How would Paro listen to me? Which is very weird. He should have told him, God, still, nobody understands me. I have a problem with my speech. But he says, no, the children of Israel did not listen to me. And how would Paro listen to me?
But he went first to Bnei Israel?
Sorry, he went to Bnei Israel.
What did he say?
And he told them that he came in order to deliver them out of Egypt. And because of the hard work, it's written over there. It's written like this, dear women. Because of the very hard work that they had, כתוב, וידבר משה כן אל בני ישראל, ולא שמעו אל משה. Moshe is telling them what God told him to say, and the children of Israel are not listening to him, מקוצר רוח ומעבודה קשה, because they didn't have any patience, and because of the hard work, they did not listen, they did not pay attention to him. So he said, how come Paro will listen to me? ואני ערל שפתיים, and I have a problem with my speech. This is very weird. So how come God did not help him? He said to him, go and I will help you. I will be with your mouth. הנה, כתוב, אנוכי אהיה עם פיך, והוריתיך אשר תדבר, I will tell you what to say. And he goes, and instead of giving him the words and that he will speak and pronounce with his speech everything, because you remember what happened. He hurt his mouth and his tongue because you remember. Okay, so dear women, instead of helping, he still said, I have a problem with my speech. So let's continue. What happened? What's going on here? The Zohar Kadosh says a beautiful thing. He says, when the children of Israel cannot learn Torah, they're in exile of speech. This is very weird. So until today we're in exile of speech. What does it mean? It says like this. In the Gemara it says, dear women, and we have it in chapter 58 in Tehillim, it said, Elem tzedek tedaberun. Elem tzedek tedaberun. It says over there, dear women, this is Tehillim chapter 58. Dear women, it says, Elem tzedek tedaberun. So, what does it mean? It means that a person, if he needs to open his mouth, because the mouth is holy, if he needs to open his mouth, he should open it only for good things and only for the Torah. Which means if I need to speak blah, 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 nonsense. I don't need to speak. What should I do? Elim. I should be Ilem. I should be איך אומרים Ilem באנגלית? A person who can mute. I should be mute, not to speak, God forbid. Nothing. Only the things that I need in order to live. Things you know that you need to speak in order to live, not more than that. Then why do we have the mouth? Only to use it for tzedek tedaberun. En tzedek el Torah. Only for the Torah. Ledaber, to have a speech, to speak only for the Torah. Now, nobody asks me over here, but the children of Israel did not receive the Torah yet. Yeah. So what am I talking about? What kind of exile of speech? They did not receive the Torah yet. But, dear women, Avraham Avinu knew the Torah before he received the Torah, before his children received it. And we went and studied it b'Mishneh Torah l'Rambam. You remember Bilchot Deot, when we started Tomer Devorah. That, dear women, so before he already knew. Why? Because he looked and analyzed the world, and from this he knew Hashem. Because we know Hashem from ourselves, from the way God built us, from the way God created all this world. And when we look at the world, I'll give you an example. This is astonishing. I have a plant in my home that my sister bought it for me, and it had flowers, the plant. Okay, it was beautiful. And after a while, the flowers, yes, they fell down, and only the branches stayed. But they were green, and it had 2 leaves, green leaves. So I said, well, Rachmanut, a pity on this plant, and I will leave it and give it water. Okay. A few days ago, I thought it was dead, because I saw the leaves were green, and you can see that they're already dead. They're not alive anymore. So I thought to take it out and put it outside in the yard. I said, okay, you finished the fixing in my house. I'm going to take you. You don't believe it. I came to the plant, and I can see 2 new leaves are going, and from the middle another leaf. And I said, this is resurrection. Mamash, resurrection. You can see the plant didn't have a life, mamash. Only a little bit of green was on it. And when I decided maybe he finished his fixing and he shouldn't stay in my home, I'm coming to the plant. Mamash, resurrection. The mamash tchiyat hametim. I'm looking at it, and I'm looking again, and I see red leaves. Beautiful leaves are coming out. So I told them, welcome, bruchim habayim. And then I can see in the middle, another green leaf is going to go out. Mamash, you should have seen, it was obvious that this plant, Zeu Gamar. But when I told him that I'm going to take him out, that I'm thinking about it, it became alive. And the leaves are going out of it.
You never know what neshama is there. Remember, you cannot throw.
And Ben Porat said he feels very comfortable. So it wants.
I have a palm in my house, and as soon as the new leaf comes out, I'm so happy, and I'm just the happiest person. And my daughter looks at Mom. The plant is the plant, and it should have the flowers. When the flower comes, everybody they are getting happy. You are getting happy from the leaf. I said, this is
the beginning of the birth of the plant. Yishar koach. Dear women, those plants, they understand, they can hear us, they have feelings, mamash. If you love the plants and we speak to them, and when we give them water, when we tell them that we love them, velirvaya, that they will have enough, that they can grow, you will see them growing. You won't believe it. It's mamash resurrection.
Can I say something? When I moved into the apartment, I bought a listen to this girl.
Banot.
A corn tree. And when I bought in a nursery, I asked them, my living room is not too much light there, so I need some plant, anything that they're gonna live next to the sun, without the sun, in some dark corner. So she recommended me to take that corn tree. Fine, it's an apartment, beautiful plant. I took that huge plant that inside it's 3 legs, and this plant was always dry, beautiful plant and dry. Out of nowhere, after a couple years later, this tree, I had a polish on my floor. This tree had drops of water all over around the tree, on the floor, drops, and I see that כאילו השפריצו מים עליו. it's dripping the water. Never before, like a few years it's standing dry, and now it's like crying. Plant is crying. Guess what, girls? 2 months later, my aunt passed away, and I went to Israel. I took my mother to Israel for burial. We came, we came from burial, and it was home. I said, oh my God, my poor plant, it's 2 weeks, nobody put the water on. I'm going to come and put the water. I'm touching whole leg. It was 3 legs inside the plant of this big tree. 1 leg, whatever, that it was crying, like a drops of water, it's completely dead. It's no more roots, not connected into the Adama. I'm moving, it was all rotten barren. I threw it away. So when I spoke with the rabbi, Chamaron, and I told them the story about that plant, never before it was dripping the water, and never after. So he told me that Zen Neshamot gives you the sign something bad going to happen, and when it's happened, the 1 leg is dead, and the plant lives with us until now. The rest of the tree. So it's Bemet Neshamot. The plant is a Neshamot. Lo lechinam, we are buying such a certain plant and bringing in the house. You never know which reincarnation.
Yes.
Reincarnation comes down of our family member to the plant in our house again.
You see, Shar Koach. So let's go back to our subject, dear women. So we are looking at the exile of speech. So I told you that the Zohar Kadosh says that until the children of Israel are going to, the speech is going to be about the Torah, totally about the Torah, everything about Hashem, Bezrat Hashem, and everybody will know Hashem. We are still in the exile of speech. So Avraham Avinu, by knowing all the world, everything that he saw around, knowing, which means wisdom and understanding, is combined. This is knowing, which means when I say that I know Hashem, I feel it in my heart, not only in my mouth, but my heart speaks. I can feel that I know Hashem. I can feel Hashem with us. You understand? This is knowing. It's not enough to say in our mind, I know, okay, I believe everything. It's from the outside and out. It's not from the inside, from the heart. It needs to be from the heart. So the children of Israel received the Torah that went from Avraham Avinu to Yitzchak and to Yaakov, and Yaakov passed it to his sons. So they already knew things about the Torah that they would study, but they did not have time to learn it. Why? Because Paro did not let them do that. He caused them to work mali, kol kach kashe mali. He caused them to work so hard, dear women, that he did not let them the opportunity to sit down and just to combine the things, which means mind and action, and to study with the mouth the Torah. So, dear women, when we do not study the Torah, it means that we are in the exile of speech. Shh. We are in the exile of speech, dear women. So when we do not study the Torah. So the Zohar Kadosh says, when the children of Israel were in Egypt and they did not study the Torah, the speech of Moshe Rabbeinu could not be clear the whole time until they went out of Egypt and received the Torah on Mountain Sinai. Why? Remember what I told you over here? God told him, Anochi aye im picha v'oriticha asher tedaper. And what is the first commandment from the 10 commandments? Anochi Hashem Elokecha. So, dear women, the Zohar Kadosh says, only when God said Anochi, the word Anochi, like he told him, Anochi yeh im picha v'oraticha asher tedaber, only when everything is by letters. You see, we're going back to the letters. Everything is by letters and the word, all the fixing in this world. So when he told him, dear women, that Anochi Hashem Elokecha, when the word Anochi was out and everybody heard the word Anochi, the speech of Moshe Rabbeinu was fixed. Because God told him, Anochi aye im picha, when am I going to be with your mouth? When I will say Anochi Hashem Elokecha. So only on Ma'amad Har Sinai, when the children of Israel received the Torah, you see how beautiful it is? And God said, I am Hashem your God. Only then the speech of Moshe Rabbeinu was fixed. Why? Because now the children of Israel are studying Torah. And because Moshe Rabbeinu is the throat, the part that is connecting between Hashem and the children of Israel. The children of Israel are considered the body, okay? and the throat is considered the leader, dear women. Why? Because look, we cannot connect the mind to the body without the throat. We cannot skip it. There's no lulaot, we cannot skip it and go around it. It has to go through the throat. You understand? Everything goes through the throat. Why did Paro want to kill Moshe Rabbeinu and to take the sword and to cut his throat? Because he did not want the children of Israel to have a connection between the head and the body. The children of Israel are from here, from the throat down. And Kol Gadol b'Yisrael, Kol Rav, Kol Mori b'Yisrael, every person that is a big rabbi in the children of Israel is Rosh Bnei Israel. Rosh Bnei Yisrael. You see, the Rashi Tevot, the first letters, is rabbi. You see, Rosh Bnei Yisrael, the head of the children of Israel, is called a rabbi. Is called a rabbi, dear women. So, what does Paro want to do? He wants to disconnect this part, the tzavar, between the head and the children of Israel. Why? Because then there's no connection, they will not listen, and there will be a separation between the mind and the action of the children of Israel. Because everything starts with the mind. And who is the mind? The bigger mind spiritually is the tzaddik. Because the righteous person is the one that connects the children of Israel with Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu was the da'at of Am Yisrael. He was the knowing of by him, through him, they knew Hashem. Through Moshe Rabbeinu. That's why they told Moshe Rabbeinu after the 2 commandments, you will speak to us, and you will listen to Hashem, and you will tell us what God tells you. We do not want to listen to it directly. So they went for the exile of speech only when they received the Torah, dear women. Until today, our speech is not only for the Torah, dear women. Our speech is not only for the things that we truly need. We blah blah a lot on nonsense, dear women. You know that we have, each and every one of us has certain amount of words. It's a pity to use them in vain, dear women. So look, we need also to be in this stage that our mouth will speak divrei Torah, the words and wisdom of Hashem, and have it and speak it, and that we will have the knowing of Hashem by our speech, because I told you, once we speak, our ear hears this, and once we hear what we say, the whole body is part of it. So once we know Hashem and we love Hashem, we say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, אנחנו אוהבים אותך, the whole body loves Hashem. We are connected to Him from every essence and sense that we have in our body. So let's look. How do we know that this is true? What I'm telling you already now. I'm wiping over here, okay? Look, how do we know that this is true? Let's look at the word Paro. You know that all of the kings of Egypt were called Paro. Why were they called Paro? Why was their name Paro? Dear women, because Paro is Ra, is bad mouth. Ze Paro. And why does Passover, the holiday, the high holiday of freedom, is called Pesach? Dear women, it's called Pesach because it's Pesach, which means we are speaking the words of Hashem. We are learning the Torah. You see, Paro is Pera, and Pesach is Pesach. Ze Pesach. This is the exile of speech. We are until today. Pesach nikra Pesach. Pesach nikra Pesach, מדבר. למה זה נקרא Pesach? Because בפסח we went out of Egypt, and then after that we received the Torah, dear women, and we went out of the exile of speech. Today, Be'ezrat Hashem, when Mashiach will reveal himself, Be'ezrat Hashem, b'mera b'yameinu amen, we will also go out of the exile of speech. We will not speak nonsense. We will speak the word of Hashem, and there will be da'at at Hashem. Not only we will know Hashem, but all of the nations will know Hashem. Amen. Amen. Everybody will know God, dear women. K'mo mayim el mayim, like all the waters that cover the world, dear women. So you can see Paro ze Pesach, Paro ze Pera, it's a bad mouth, wicked mouth, and Pesach, which means the mouth has a good speech about Hashem, Be'ezrat Hashem. So you can see this is the fixing of the exile of the speech. But now we're going to go to the exile, dear women, of da'at, of knowledge, of knowing Hashem. Okay, this is the part of knowing Hashem. And you can see, dear women, it's connected, knowing Hashem, is connected, dear women, to mitzvah tefillin. So we can see at Parashat Bo, that we have in Chumash Shemot, over there were the 3 plagues, last 3 plagues, dear women. We have Arbe, Choshech, Makat Bechorot, dear women. Dear women, pay attention. So over there, we can see that over there, the knowing of Hashem comes from, because at that parasha, it's written about Parashat Tefillin. It's written, Vayal ot al yadecha, v'yu totafot benenecha, ki bechozek yad otzienu Hashem mitzrayim. Which means you should put it on your arm, and you should put it in between your eyes, the Tefillin, it says, and remember that God took us with a strong hand from Egypt. So what is the connection? ידיך. לא, זה ידיך, כן, זה נקרא ידיך. Dear women, I would like to explain something. And if you see yad, and it's not mentioned the right hand, ימין, it means the left hand. Why? Because זה נקרא yad. What is yad? ידיך, yad keha. It's the less strong arm, which means the weaker arm. The weaker arm usually, most of the people have, it's the left hand. So that tefillin should be on the left hand. When it's the right hand, God says it's right hand. He says, Yad Yamincha. Yamin, he mentions it in the Mikra. But when you see that there's no mention of if it's right or left, it means it's the left hand, dear women. Usually it's the left hand. If there's no mention that it's Yamin. So let's, over here, Yamin. So let's continue. So we know we put it on the left hand, okay, and we put it in between the eyes. And what is knowing Hashem? So we can see at the continuation, Paro says to Moshe Rabbeinu, the first time when he comes to him, he says, who is God? Mi Hashem. Lo yadati et Hashem. I do not know Hashem. Da'at. You see, da'at. He says, I do not know Hashem. And we continue, and it says, "V'ida'atem ki ani Hashem Elokechem hamotzi etchem meretz mitachat tzivlot Mitzrayim." And you should know that again, "V'ida'atem." You should know, l'shon dat. You should know that I am Hashem, and I am taking you out of the suffering of Egypt. You know, it's written, don't read suffering out of the patience of Egypt. What do I mean when I say patience of Egypt? This bimkom sivlot savlanut. Read as savlanut, dear women. Why do I say patience? Because, dear women, when we have patience for the exile, we are not going out of exile. When we do not have patience anymore, we ask from Hashem with all of our heart, mamash mitoch halev, we ask God, please bring us back to the land of Israel, then the exile stops. How many of us truly want to go back? How many feels it in their body that they want to go back to Israel? Dear women, shar koach. How many, dear women, really feel it in their heart? I need to go back to the land of Israel. Dear women, that's why it said, and it's true to all of the exiles. It's not only etchem mitachat sivlot Mitzrayim, mitachat savlanut leMitzrayim, your patience to Mitzrayim. And the ones that did not want to go back to the land of Israel, they felt comfortable in exile, did not go out of Egypt. 80% of the children of Israel did not go out of Egypt. They stayed in Egypt, they were killed in Egypt on the plague of darkness. Why? Because they did not remember Hashem. They did not remember Hakarat HaTov, gratitude. Okay? 80% did not go out, dear women. And today the exile will be parallel to what happened in Egypt. So we have to start working on ourselves, dear women. And why did the Egyptians get this plague of darkness? They got it because they were ungrateful. Choshech hayah, darkness was because of ungratefulness. Why? Because, dear women, they did not remember Yosef, the righteous Yosef Tzaddik. They did not remember everything that he did for them. You remember that he fed all the Egyptians, he helped them and fed them. They did not remember Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu, when he came to Egypt, dear women, the Nile went over, flew over the land. There was a blessing in Egypt. They did not remember, they were ungrateful. That's why they had the plague of Choshech. Ki choshech is the letters of shachach, to forget, and choshech is the letters of kichesh, to deny, to be ungrateful, to deny the goodness of other people toward us. Ze mamash. Because of that, they had makat choshech. If you cannot see, if you decide to deny the goodnesses of other people towards you, this is darkness. Lakhish. להכחיש, which means שאדם שאומר לא עשו לי טובה, זה לא עשה לי טובה. לא, זה אדם שמתעלם מהטובה שאדם עשה לו, זה נקרא להכחיש. מי שעשה לך טוב, את אומרת, מה פתאום, הוא לא עשה לי טוב? איזה טובה הוא עשה לי? זה יותר מלזלזל, זה יותר גרוע, הוא אומר בכלל הוא לא עשה. לא היה, לא נעשה. Yes.
That they built up became like a big dark cloud. Like, in other words, it was they built it because of their denial, or because they just wouldn't.
But when the evil inclination, it's a good question. When the evil inclination, dear women, causes us, listen, it was a good question. She asked about the plague of darkness. So how did it happen? What happened that they did not have gratitude towards the people that helped them? It starts, dear women, with pride. When we have pride, we have ungratefulness. Why? Because we do not see the messenger, the person who came and did a good thing towards us. We cannot see that. We think that he owes it to us. No, he did not do something good for me. He should do it because I'm something in this world. He does not see that I'm something. I deserve that he will do it for me. It happens even at home. When our husband comes and washes the dishes, and we say to us, should I tell him thank you? Ma pitom, I shouldn't say thank you. I'm working so hard outside the home and then inside the home. He should say thank you for everything that I do. Why should I say thank to him? He should help me. He should do that. Dear women, this is, dear women, that's the same thing. That's the same thing. זה אותו דבר. זה אותו דבר. If your husband comes home and decides to wash the dishes, and one woman over here said, I will tell him what happened. מה קרה? איזה חג היום? What holiday is it today? Dear women, this is ungrateful. This is ungratefulness, dear women. Why? I'll explain. This is ungratefulness. I will tell you why, what stands behind it. Why? Dear women, when we want to encourage a good thing, a good action, when we want to encourage a good action, we shouldn't have bikoret, criticism over the action. Adrabah, we should say a good word in order that this person will feel, yes?
That's for you.
My husband does food shopping.
Dear women, we should encourage it with good words, because when we do that, the other person that hears this would like to help us again and do what he helps himself also, and do it again, dear women. We should encourage a good action. We should not criticize it. We should not make a statement that has a little bit of lag inside it. Lag. Yes, we should not make a statement that we are teasing inside the statement. Why? Because we should remember that nothing is obvious. The person that is in front of us, he's only a messenger of God. God told him to help you, Nira, with your dishes. God said, today you should go home and help your wife. And this is a test. This is a test. If you wait. This is only a test. God says, I will make your husband wash the dishes and let's see what you do. If you'll say, wow, thank you, God. Toda rabba, thank you, God. And you say to your husband, Yishar koach. Even if it's not so clean. Dear women, some of our husbands, you know how they wash the dishes? Some of our husbands wash the dishes like this. שלה בלה בפנים והכל נשאר אותו דבר. כן.
My husband gets first test, his test in army in Israel. He's a חיל הים. he was
Listen.
he's a Elyashiv, and one day they gave him to wash the dishes after a small boat.
Listen, בנות, רגע, סליחה לאה. Listen.
Listen to this. My husband get his first test from Hashem, wash the dishes in the army. He was in Marine
Navy.
in Navy, and it was not in his kavod wash the dishes. It's a busha. Not they are giving him to do wash the dishes. He said, Gruzini, Elyashiv, secret mission. Excuse me. It's a lot of washing dishes. So he said, okay, I will do the dishes. He went down. 2 minutes later, running up, he said, I'm done. Next meal, they are coming down to eat. There is not even one cup and one plate. There is nothing to eat. So where is the dishes? He said, I just pick up everything and I threw in dishwasher. He said, we don't have a dishwasher. He said, the ocean. He's washing over there. זרק את כל הדישס החוצה. זרקו אותו בצינוק בגלל זה. עכשיו, נראה לך שהוא יעשה דישס בבית?
בעזרת השם. dear women. איזה שאלה. טוב, please pay attention, dear women. We are speaking about the dishes. Dear women, even if our husband, God told him, listen, no, it doesn't come on its own. And mikre, there's no coincidence. It's a message from God. You should wash the dishes for your wife. He's only a messenger. So if he went and washed the dishes, shelebele, you know the shelebele? That it's not thoroughly wash the dish like we love to wash the dishes. Dear women, even though, dear women, it's important, listen. עוד רגע. Even though, I know it's interesting, dishes is interesting. The husband washing the dishes. So dear women, even though he did not do it so well, you shouldn't touch the dishes at that time. You can go and wash it later, not next to him. But you should give him a good word, exactly. A good word. Why? Kol hakavod. Why? Thank you, my husband. Kol hakavod. Isha tizke lemitzvot. Thank you. Why? Because this means that you have gratefulness towards Hashem. You understand that He's only a messenger, and you are having gratefulness towards Hashem. Otherwise, dear women, if we do not say thank you, and we say as a Chag Hayom, what holiday is it today? Is Mashiach here that you are washing the dishes? If we are teasing Him, it means that we are teasing Hashem. You understand? This is ungratefulness. This is the midah of Haman HaRasha. This is the measure of the wicked Haman. It's ungratefulness. Mamash. So dear women, we should encourage any action that we see that is good, we should encourage it, not tease it. Even though that you're astonished, say thank you to Hashem. Make it more, God. You should tell, and next time you should wash, and He will see how you wash the dishes, so it will be thoroughly, dear women. So the Egyptians, dear women, did not appreciate and did not remember because they thought they had pride. They were deserving what the children of Israel were doing for them. Yosef HaTzadik and Yaakov Avinu, dear women. Because of that, they were in the darkness. They did not know Hashem. Because they did not recognize the messenger. He who does not recognize the messenger does not know God that sent him. If we do not say thank you to the messenger, we do not say thank you to Hashem. So dear women, so that's why dear women, darkness is the letters of Shachach. Dear women, the letters of Shachach, to forget. You forget Hashem. And then, dear women, it's also kichesh, you deny the goodness of your friend that did to you, the good deed that he did towards you, you deny it. And once you deny, it comes to forgetting Hashem, dear women. Ze kichesh v'ze shachach. And all of this comes from not knowing Hashem. And Paro says, I do not know Hashem. Who is Hashem? Why should I listen to you? And you don't understand, each human being has part of God inside of him. B'tzelem Elokim bara et Adam. In the image of God, He created all humanity. There's no human being that does not have a part of Hashem in him. So it's even, it's like a person who is shooting his own leg. Mamash, when we deny, God forbid, Hashem from ourselves, and we say that we do not know Him, and we do not see Him, we do not know Him, God forbid, dear, it's like we are shooting ourselves, because we are walking with the energy of life that God gave us. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's even absurd to think like this. Do you understand? So what did Paro want to do? Paro wanted to separate the children of Israel from God. He wanted a disconnection. He wanted them to be begalut adat, the exile of knowledge, which is until today. What does it mean to separate the mind from the body, from the actions, to make a disconnection? Which means we won't think, we are working so hard, we do not have time to think about Hashem even. That's why they went into 49 of gates of impurity, and some of them went into the 50th gate of impurity. How do we know that? We know that from the word Mitzrayim. It's not a coincidence, there's no coincidence. Mitzrayim starts with an open mem, ends with a mem that is closed, okay, like this. And then in the middle, yesh yetzer. You see inclination in the middle. What is the mem? Look, dear women. This mem, the closed mem is the mem of machshava, of thought. Shh. Listen so you'll understand. So just do it with me. Beseder, dear women, please do it with me. This mem, the closed one, is the mem of machshava. You see, the machshava, thought in Hebrew, starts with the letter mem. And then this mem, the open one, is maaseh. Maaseh, dear women. Maaseh is action, okay? This is thought. And this is action. Action also starts with the letter mem. You see it over here? The letter mem. Both action in Hebrew is maaseh and thought in Hebrew is machshava. Both of them starts with mem. But why is the machshava the mem that is closed in the word Egypt? Because we do not know the thoughts of a human being. Only Hashem knows it. We do not know the thoughts. We can sit over here, all of us. We do not know what a person has in his mind. But the action we can see. What he does, we can see what he does. Okay, but what he has in his mind, that's why we never know who is truly righteous. Because even if a person does go to the synagogue and does things for Hashem, we never know if his thought is clean like his actions. If it goes together. Only God knows who's truly righteous, who truly does everything for the sake of heaven and not for the sake of himself. That the community will say, wow, this is a righteous person. How much he gave to the shul.
The person who is quiet, you are not have to be careful with the person who is talking. Person who is talking, they express himself. Who is quiet, then
she says, silent water, they go deep. People who are quiet, dear women. So look over here, we can see he wanted to disconnect the maaseh, the action, from the thought. So he wanted the children of Israel to go into the 50th gate of impurity. How do we know that? Because the word Mitzrayim, look, Mitzrayim is Meitzar Yam. I'm dividing it to two words, okay? This is Meitzar. Meitzar means shar. Meitzar means gate. Veyam, Yud is 10 in numerical value. Memim is 40. Shh. Together it's 50. So he wanted them to go into the 50th gate of impurity. What did he want to disconnect? It's very important so we can do it together so you'll understand. What did he...
From shar, please?
Meitzar. Meitzar is a shar, בעברית. Meitzar is a shar, and yam, gate. Shar is gate, and yam in numerical value, it's ocean. It means the 58th gate of impurity. So he wanted to disconnect the head of the children of Israel from the body. פרעה, כן. מחקתי על ידיך. פרעה, he wanted to... photo. You remember that he wanted to disconnect the mind from the actions. You see, why is this mem open? Why do I say this is the action, the first mem that is open? Because the action is open, everybody can see what you're doing. Everybody can see your deeds. But the thought is this mem that is closed because nobody knows it except for Hashem. Now let's look. What did he do, Paro? It was more than that, dear women. If you look over here, and you know how we help ourselves? By, for example, studying the Mishnah. The Mishnah starts also with the Mem Ptucha. Me'matai Korim Shma Shel Arvit. The Mishnah starts with this sentence. When do we read Shma on Arvit? You know, the third at night. When do we read the davening at night? When does a bar mitzvah boy starts to read? This is the first sentence in the Mishnah. It ends, dear women, the last sentence of the Mishnah ends with Shalom. Hashem yivarech et amo b'shalom. Which means this is a closed mem. Okay? The Mishnah ends with Hashem yivarech et amo b'shalom. With the word shalom, peace. But it ends with a mem. You see, this mem is open. It starts with an open mem and it ends with a closed mem, dear women. Just I'm looking for... You see, Hashem yivarech et amo b'shalom. Why? Because when we start studying the Shas, we have still the evil inclination. The more we read and study from the Torah, the less the evil. You remember when I taught you, Betomer Devorah, when we started a few weeks ago, we spoke about choice. You remember, and force. The more we force ourselves to do what God wants, which is the truth, and we do not give ourselves the freedom of choice, then we do not put truth and lie at the same level. The more we force ourselves to listen to Hashem, the more we are free, we are truly free from the evil inclination. So, the more we study the Shas for the sake of heaven, Lishma, if we study truly for the sake of heaven, dear women, we start from an open mem to a closed mem. We shut the mouth of the evil inclination. What do I mean? Because the evil inclination is called Samech Mem. It's Samech. Here's the Mem, the open Mem, and then it's Kel. Okay? I'm writing it over here. You see? So how do I close the mouth? I need to wipe a little bit so I can write here. How do we close? We start to learn the Mishnah. We start to learn the Torah. And this Mem becomes closed. The more we study, the more we close the mouth of this mem. If the mem, this mem of the evil inclination is open, it gets its livelihood from this word, from kel, from the ot aleph and the ot lamed. It gets its livelihood from our mitzvot, physically in this world, from our mitzvot and our studies of the Torah. The more we learn for the sake of heaven, the more we close it. When we close it, it becomes Sam El. Dear women, you see? Now the evil inclination does not have life because it's closed. These letters of Samech and Mem cannot have their livelihood from these letters Kel. So we close the mouth of the evil inclination. It means that we are now truly free of the evil inclination because, dear women, it cannot... The impurity and all of its soldiers cannot take from our mitzvot because we force ourselves to do exactly what God wants us to do. Do you see it over here? The same thing is with the word water. You remember, Hokol tzameh lechul hamayim. Every person, Yeshayahu, the prophet says, every person that is thirsty, he should go to drink water. But this is obvious. But he does not mean water, physical water. He says everybody that is thirsty for Torah lessons should go and study so his spiritual, his soul will receive water because water is parallel to Torah. And what is water? Can I write it over here? Where shall I write it? Okay. What is water? Excellent. Here, you see ma. Him. We have a mem ptucha, an open mem, and a closed mem. This is water in Hebrew. And in the middle, what do we have? We have Yud. What is Yud? He who studies the Torah, Asara Ma'amarot, the 10, you remember the 10 speeches that God said in order to create the world. The 10 commandments, Asara Dibrot, the 10 commandments, Asara Sfirot, the 10 counts of the Kabbalah. He who studies the Pardes, this is the Yud, dear women, causes the open mem to become a closed mem. This is a hint even in the word maim, water, to explain to us. And what does it mean? That there's a connection between the thought and the action. Why? You should not go after your heart and your eyes. And I already told you once over here, this is very weird when you say that in Shema Yisrael, because first the eyes see, they have the sight, and then the heart feels. It's not the eyes first, and instead of that, it's not the heart first. It's written, you should not go after your heart and then after your eyes, because the first sight is a sight that God gave you in order to have a test. So He does not consider that as a sight of sin, dear women. But the second sight, it's after the heart wished already to look at it. He causes, the evil inclination started to work, and our heart became excited, and the blood side is a side of sin, of transgression. So that's why, dear women, what do we do with the tefillin? We put first of all around, how do you put the tefillin, dear women? Shh.
We don't know.
How men put the tefillin? They put it first on their arm and then in between the eyes. Why first on the arm? Because the arm is close to the heart. We want the heart. And after that, which means first on your hand. Why? In order that the heart, which the battery, you remember that I told you, should put upon you a king. You should be a king, which means that the mind will control the heart, will control the blood. You remember the mind, the heart, and blood, the kaved, the liver. Together it's melech, moach, lev. Bekaved, dear women, together, dear women, melech. You should put upon yourself a king. So in order that when the heart starts to pump and quickly, we come to actions. We want to do something, dear women. So in order to control the heart, the Jewish men put the tefillin on the left hand, close to the heart, and then the mind. They put it in order that there will be a connection between mind and heart to know Hashem. And by doing this, we are closing the mouth of the mem, even of Egypt. You see, they put the evil inclination, even in the word Egypt, the evil inclination is in between this opened mem and the closed mem, in order to have a separation. You have to understand, this also causes a separation in the name of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei, which means the name of God is also separated when we do not know Hashem. God says after Milchemet Amalek, Yad al Kesya Milchama Hashem be'Amalek midor dor. God's name in this world until Amalek is not here anymore is half a name, Yud Kei, and the other half we have to complete it. How do we complete it, dear women? Yud Kei is the machshava. Yud Kei is the machshava. And Vav Kei is the action, maaseh. Which means, dear women, if we have a good intention to do a mitzvah, and we did not do that, we have an angel that has a soul but does not have a body. But when we do the mitzvah, and we had a good intention to do the mitzvah, dear women, for the sake of heaven, we have a full angel, a good angel, that has body and soul. Everything from our deeds and thoughts. So this is what Paro wanted to disconnect, the thoughts and the actions. It goes even to our children. Pay attention. It says in Parashat Bo that Moshe Rabbeinu tells Paro, he says, Vayomer Moshe bin'arenu v'zkanenu nelech bevanenu v'notenu betzonenu v'karenu, which means he says to Paro, we are going to go with our youth and our old people. He starts with the youth, because you have to understand, if our children do not go by the Jewish religion, do not practice the Jewish religion, dear women, it's like the nation is all over. Which means, זאת אומרת, נגמר עם ישראל. The children of Israel are not here anymore. The more, God forbid, that we interact and get intermarriages, with goyim, with non-Jewish people, dear women, it's the less of us are in Jews. You understand? The more we do that, the more we, יש לזה שם, מתערבבים. אבל יש לזה שם באנגלית. Assimilate, I think. The more we assimilate ourselves, God forbid, we are killing the Jewish nation, mamash killing the Jewish nation. So what did Moshe Rabbeinu tell him? We are going to go with our youth and our old people, which means the youth is important. The future of the Jewish nation is decided by the youth, if they go by the Jewish religion or they do not go by it. Dear women. And at the end of this sentence, it says, Ki Chag Hashem Lanu, which means it's a holiday for God when we are together. Lama? Ki ma ze lanu? Chag Hashem Lanu. I'll write it over here, dear women. Ki Chag Hashem Lanu. Dear women, Ki Chag Hashem Lanu. Chag, it's a holiday. Hashem Lanu. When the youth is going, when the Jewish youth is going by the forefathers and practicing Judaism, dear women, this is a holiday for Hashem Lanu. Lanu. In numerical value, Lamed is 30, Nun is 50, and Vav is 6. How much is it? 86. 86 is Elokim. This is the name of Din, of judgment, and this is the name of mercy, Chesed, which means if the children of Israel practice Judaism and they go in the way of their forefathers, dear women, then all of the judgments becomes mercy, dear women, upon the children of Israel, livriyut. Why? You know the mitzvah, a little bit more so I can finish explaining at least what I wanted to explain here. Dear women, when we have a husband and wife, okay, this is part of the name of God. Ish, ve'isha. The woman has the hey of the name of God, and the ish has the yud of the name of God. This is half of the name of God, Yud Kei. How do we complete it? By a daughter and the son, Pruvu, okay? The son, the ben, he brings the vav, the letter vav to the name of God, and the daughter brings the letter hey to the name of God. So if a father and mother has a son, has son and a daughter, they complete. This is mitzvah pruvu. This is the mitzvah, the commandment that you should have children. So there's a big discussion about it in the Torah. Does it mean to have children? Is it enough to have 2 boys, or you need to have a boy and a girl? So Bet Shammai says it's enough to do the mitzvah pruvu of having children if you have 2 boys. Why? Because it says Moshe Rabbeinu had 2 boys, Elazar v'Gershom, and he did all the mitzvot. But Bet Hillel said no, you have to have a boy and a girl in order to complete the mitzvah. You have to have each kind, because they are called man by a man and a woman. So you have to have, as imen eshet l'iladim shelach. Okay, it completes. So dear women, the halacha is al pi Bet Hillel, dear women. The halacha, the Jewish law is by Bet Hillel. Every Jewish couple should have a boy and at least 1 boy and 1 girl. Okay, so it means, dear women, that we are completing the name of God. Yud K by the father and mother, and Vav K, Yud K by the father and mother, and Vav K by the son and the daughter. But listen very carefully, Paro did not want the children of Israel to go, because he knew that this is the continuation of the Jewish people, and he wanted to cut it.
only girls?
Then, dear women, it's a good question. It's a good question. If, for example, there are families that there are only girls, but then the girls will have boys, and this will cover the name of God. You understand? Will complete the name of God. So, dear women, what Paro said? Paro said, "Lo chen." He says, "No. Lechuna agvarim." Only the men. The older men will go. V'ivdu et Hashem. And he threw him away. He threw them from the palace. He said, "No, leave the children and the women here. Just the men. You'll go and sacrifice for your God in the desert, but not the children." In order to disconnect the name of God. That's why, dear women, he says. And with this, I will finish, dear women. Just a minute. He says. Wait. Ken.
The lady has 6 sons, and somebody told her, if you have one more, you have open door in Gan Eden.
7 sons, one after the other. It's open door in heaven.
Why?
Yes.
No the daughters.
Sorry?
No daughters.
But they will bring daughters. If a person has 7 sons, one after the other, okay, it says this is a segula to go to Gan Eden. Listen, dear women. He says after the plague of Arbesh. כן, אישה לא עוברת גלגול, אישה מתמרקת בגיהינום וישר הולכת לגן עדן. שבכל מקרה היא לא עוברת גלגולים. סליחה? בטח, היא מקבלת חצי מכל המצוות שלו, הכל היא שייך לה. Dear women, we spoke about it and I will remind you again. Dear women, the wife has half of all of the mitzvot. Everything that her husband does, she has half. Which means when she pushes him to study Torah, she gets half of the mamash, half of the merit. Everything half she gets from her husband. So push your sons to study Torah. Push your husbands to study Torah. Even if you do not study, you get half of their work immediately. You are their partners, dear women. Paro says, Hashem HaTzadik, ואני ועמי הרשעים. Dear women, Paro says after the plague of Arbe of grasshoppers, he says to Moshe Rabbeinu, God is righteous, and I and my nation are wicked. So it seems like he's doing a tshuva, he's repenting, isn't he? But dear women, we can read it in different ways. We can say, he says, God is righteous and I. God and I are righteous. You see? And my people are wicked. It's not me. My people are wicked, not me. But truly, if you look what he's saying, he wants to separate, because he wants to separate the name of God. So they won't be a chud of the name of God. Because this is Hashem, we have the Yud over here. HaTzadik, we have the Hey. Okay, so it's Yud K. And there's, in the middle, it's Vani, me, pride. Over here in the middle. But at the end, again, there's Vav and K. You see? Vav and the letter Hey over here, which is Vav K. You see it over here? So he separates the name of God, because he wants the children of Israel to be in the exile of knowing Hashem. How can he separate? Even by what it looks like he's confessing and repenting. Look over here, it's like God is righteous and I and my people are wicked. No, he says, if you read it the right way, like he means it, he says, God is righteous and I'm righteous like God. God forbid. And my people are the wicked, not me. I'm good, dear women. So you can see he took the ani, and I told you, ani, when a person has the ani, pride in himself, he is disconnected from Hashem, which means he does not have the merit that God will protect him with everything that he does, dear women. Rashaim kurim mitim ba'olam hazeh. Wicked people are considered dead in this world because they have only the lowest part of the soul in their body. which is going through the stream of blood. So, dear women, you can see that he wants to do a separation between the open mem and the closed mem. The Yetzer is in between them. This is connected to Galut Hadat. So everything he did is in order to disconnect also the children from their parents. And listen, dear women, it's the same thing today. We did not change anything. Because also today, look at our children. Shh. Look at our children, dear women. There are a lot of children that do not go by the way of Hashem. How many mothers come and they are crying over their children that they do not keep mitzvot, they do not listen to them. So there's a disconnection between the name of God. Once the children are not with us, there's a disconnection between the name of God. It's Yud K, this separated from Vav K. So when Mashiach will come, dear women, and then we can see also fathers that do not go, or mothers that do not go in the way of Hashem. And the children do go. It's the opposite. But there still is a disconnection between Yud K and Vav K, the name of God. Because I told you the Yud comes from the husband, the Hey comes from the woman, from the wife, and the Vav comes from the son, and the Hey comes from the daughter. So together they are completing the name of God. So dear women, it says in Malachi the prophet, it says, הנה אנוכי לבריאות שולח לכם את אליהו הנביא לפני בו יום השם הגדול והנורא והשיב לב אבות על בנים ולב בנים על אבותם. בעזרת השם במהרה בימינו, when אליהו הנביא is going to come בעזרת השם במהרה בימינו, he is going to complete the name of God by bringing back to Judaism the children that were lost and bringing back to Judaism the fathers that were lost. And together they will combine the name of God and connect together Yud K and Vav K במהרה בימינו אמן. שיגיע משיח תתקן במהרה בימינו אמן. שגם בשר אליהו נביא זכור לטוב לעולם יפרד אדם מחברו בדבר הלכה יחיד ורבים הלכה קרבים.